If you know anything about the history of Haiti, it was the richest island. But when they were locked out of the rest of the world's economy, they had to develop their own model to survive. So it went from the richest island to the poorest island in a really short amount of time.
Vraiment, problème Haïti difficile, en pile, pour tout le monde.
Life in Haiti is not easy. It's pretty complicated. But if they have work in Haiti, they will stay and have a future in Haiti. Yeah, like me.
Haiti was the first enslaved nation that overthrew Napoleon. And from the moment that happened, they were locked out of the world economy. It used to be called the Pearl of the Antilles. It had wood, it had sugarcane, it had so many things that people wanted in Europe. But when they were locked on that island and no one would trade with them and they couldn't build their economy, they kind of had to burn the wood to get food. They had to use up their resources to stay alive. And then you have an island 60 to 70 years later that is stripped of all those resources. There's so many factors that keep them in poverty now through the dictators that were there. And then it went through so many coups where people overthrew the government. That instability in itself makes the country not be able to grow. And so now the last few presidents have successfully made it through their terms. You see growth. You see roads that are getting repaired. You see solar lights that are coming in. You see it's not great, but it's less broken.
Moi, je suis Rosemary. Moi, c'est un monde qui est dans Cité Soleil. Zone d'Abdoulaye pas de bon. C'est un monde qui a perdu les camps. Il pas de bon. Cochon a passé sous le monde. Nous, pas de bon. Et bon directeur ordonné. Il pas de bon pour moi-même. Même obligé de rester là-dedans. De obligé de rester là-dedans. Pour qu'elle te finisse à Haïti. Pour te faire un acteur, pour te faire sortir dans la Cité Soleil. Pendant l'organisation guerre, je retire dans la Cité Soleil, je suis la pleine. Si je suis venu acheter, mal dit ça, je suis venu acheter Tessa, côté Guest House là. J'ai acheté, j'ai commencé à bâtir clinique là. Depuis un commencement, moi, je suis là. Travail dans le pays Haïti, ça fait partie de plus content. Moi, faire nettoyage, côté pour mon venir, toujours faire le propre. C'est là moi groupe blanc yo vini. Groupe blanc yo vini, je suis content. Là yo fait 2 mois, 3 mois blanc par entrer, je me sens malade. Parce que je ne sais pas où moun pour faire grandir, faire ici la plus large. Je suis content pour avoir plus de médicaments, parce que l'hôpital là n'est pas pour cob, pour avoir plus de médicaments pour les gens qui ne peuvent pas acheter. C'est le travail avec les venus à travail, ils ont visité la cité soleil là, ils ont un petit cas misérable. Ils viennent dire fait caille boy ici moi. Ils viennent faire caille là. Et mais depuis là, si tellement l'air bon caille là, me content me crier. Si tellement me content. La vie blanche me sens pas plus mal. Auprès de gens, me dit plus bien que l'aime de cité soleil. Devant porte là t'es bien fleur qu'on a un bagan paquet de fleurs encore qui fait belle. Cabrit mon nage manger fleur yo. Il lever fleur lever devant porte caille là. Et puis l'autre en dans caille là en dans caille là frais. Il sorti une belle bagaille.
This is the bed from him. He used to sleep, you know.
Eh bien, les amis, nous avons pas de gros, ils ont mis des tableaux pour faire des voix, petites voisines et tout, qui besoin de faire quelques devoirs, les compositions. Indication importante parce que c'est une indication pour faire un pile bagage. Indication fait mon.
Every time she's wake up and say thanks PID because of the PID, so now she can have a beautiful picture, you know, from Lizzie. Thanks PID.
Et c'est ça qui fait tout. Moi, je me dis, gueule, c'est maman, même c'est petite. Qui veut même ma gueule, et petite avec maman.
Moi, les servi au Nick Saint-Pré après 12 janvier.
After the earthquake.
Bon, bagay nan ka la, parce que cabane yo te bagay, yo te écrasé. Cabane yo te écrasé, kay la pas normal. Et moi-même comme fille qui compte payer li pendant papa Tim yo te fin mourir, son pièce toujours enfermée. Moi et nous trois qui t'a vivre en caille là. C'est pendant m'étais en bas. Et puis là, moi là. Et puis moi t'ai ouais au shelter. Yo t'a pour un parti de Simone. Et puis moi-même moi t'ai allé avec petit là, yo t'ai prend un homme. Bon moi-même mettre l'école. Parents pas me battre pour prendre ça. Assez de pour l'école ou apprendre nos métiers, ou arriver au côté au travail. Même si c'était ou anglais ou payé pour lui, il est capable parce que lorsqu'il parle anglais, il parle espagnol. Si moun ça, il a pensé. Il a pensé à venir de M. Dieu voulait.
Qui sont en train de devenir le grand?
Pour m'apprendre? Docteur.
You want to be a doctor. Pour qui soit devenir docteur? Pour quelle raison vous voulez choisir docteur? Pour quelle raison choisir?
Pour me aider des gens.
Bon changement de la vie, pour changement de la vie, moi changement de la vie me en fait déjà. Parce que c'est à bon côté et me pas jamais oublier nous. Je suis content pile.
She's been so happy.
Je suis tellement content, même dormir, je ne pas dormir.
She couldn't sleep.
Je te dis que je vais venir, dimanche, je dis que je vais venir, je vais attendre. Je me dis, bon Dieu, merci pour la famille qui te mette tête ensemble, pour le kembe pour moi. Et je ne vais jamais oublier.
God bless you. May God save you. May God give you healthy for the work you're doing.
Je prie pour blanc yo plus. Pour bon Dieu toujours kembe yo sou nous parce que si yo pas remen nous, yo pas t'a vinn ban nous kay là. Parce que l'homme nous retire dans situation ça, c'est seul bon Dieu qui a fait la pensée à ou qui fait nous capable joindre plan. Et me toujours a demander bon Dieu pour ba yo courage, pour kembe yo, pour bel travail à faire, pour bon Dieu faire route avec.
Moi, manqué yo.
Di manqué yo, dis moins manqué yo.
Moi, manqué yo.
Ça dit la leçon.
Ça, c'est une game?
You want manqué nous? What senti ou manqué nous?
Oui.
Yes, it's gonna miss us.
How come?
Pour que ça qui va manquer nous?
Parce que moi, pas pour nous.
Because
So I've been a nurse for about 7 years. My biggest love in nursing is travel nursing or medical missions. So this was my 9th one that I just participated on. And that's one of my biggest motivations for continuing to be a nurse. I feel like in a lot of ways being a nurse is a nurse no matter where you go. So a lot of it translates very easily, but there are definitely unique challenges and circumstances that arise from traveling. I guess one of the biggest challenges is what we don't have during medical missions, so how basic things are and how you try to take care of people without everything that you're used to at home. In many situations, if you need surgery, they give you a list. You go to the pharmacy or the supply store, you buy the supplies that you need for the surgery, and then you return when you have the supplies. Some clinics are government funded, or some like PID that have free medicines and services for people, but often it's if you don't have the money, you don't get the care. So this year, we've done 3 mobile clinics, and they've all been in the trash town.
It's not an exaggeration, it's a giant mountain of trash where people live. There's just been trash dumped there, and people have kind of cleared areas to make their homes. I don't know, it's just unreal to see the conditions that people are living in.
These houses or these shacks are built on the trash of Haiti. Like, there's just piles and piles of trash everywhere, and it was so sad.
There's been a lot of rain recently, so it's just kind of swampland, and there are pigs and goats roaming through the streets alongside the barefoot children.
But they do need the mobile clinic because the area, but it's not a good. But there are so many trash and so many flies. But it's so dangerous for the kids and for the pregnant women, whatever people who live there. But it's very sad for them. But you know, but they don't have any possibility to go to live to the other area. It's not good.
You know, one of the things that struck me in the clinic too was talking to people, and they said, well, a year ago I was in the countryside, but I moved here. And so I was really struck that people would choose to move into a dump.
So where we are right now is considered the dump of Haiti, and with that they don't get this clean water. They're living in shacks with so much dust and so much trash. And I think that this is causing a lot of respiratory problems and them not being able to drink enough water.
Pretty much everyone here is dehydrated. There's a lot of high blood pressures, a lot of really fast heart rates because they just need water.
When the patients come in, you ask them, how much water are you drinking? And they answer, a lot. And then you elaborate and say, how much is a lot? And they respond with 1 cup.
There were so many chronic cases of, I've had stomach pain, I've had this, I've had that, and you know, you can give something that's a small fix, but you can't really change the course for somebody because you can't change their situation. There was a moment for me when we were driving in, so every morning when we drive in, you're driving into a dump, and so the road along the way is just piles of trash, and one of the hardest moments for me was seeing people digging through basically rotten food, and I realized they were looking for something to eat.
There was one woman who Emily asked, how many meals are you eating a day, or how much food do you eat a day? And she said, I know, I'm supposed to be eating 3 meals a day, but if I don't have the money to pay for 3 meals, then I can't eat 3 meals a day.
So having a clinic where it's 3 days, but there's several days in between the time, gives a little bit of a perspective of how people respond to their treatment over time. So we've had people come back to the clinic. That was really rewarding because we could see that what we did was effective. The cases where maybe I wish I had 1 or 2 more tests to do where you couldn't quite get to figuring out exactly what the patient needed. One of the most interesting that stands out is a man with profound anemia. And again, we had nothing but a multivitamin. So we didn't even have a HemoQ machine to test his hemoglobin to see just how anemic he was. Again, just not having all the supplies that I wished I had. So whether it's medicine or tests or resources, food for people, you know, there's only so much that we can do. One of the things that resonates the most deeply with me is being able to have those connections with people and to really make people feel like they matter for a few minutes. For me, that's always been important in my practice. These are people who are living in a dump, and if they live or die, it often doesn't matter to people except maybe their family. Even with our limited supplies, we are able to have an impact, whether it's being able to treat a headache or to help ease symptoms of a cough or provide vitamins, even if it's just for 1 month. You know, again, nursing is nursing no matter where you go, and it's about assessment, and it's about trying to tease apart the differentials. And I think just the small connections that you make with people, 5, 10, 15 minutes, for me is enough time to really connect with people and share something that I know that I will always carry with me, and hopefully they will as well.
Classic symptoms of what? Has he ever been tested for tuberculosis?
It's one of the things I love most about teaching is being able to connect theory with practice. And so even in a mobile clinic in a church in a dump town, it's very exciting to be able to do that. And I know that the feedback I got was the students learned a lot, but also having had so much experience traveling, it's benefited me in learning about conditions that we don't see so much at home and bringing that here, and that's part of what they're not going to be able to learn in the classroom or even in the clinical setting at home. So I think it's just a great opportunity to learn and give students an experience that hopefully they won't forget. And hopefully that will impact their practice.
I put 0 form of fever times.
So I started the day off in consultation. The patients come from triage into consultation, and I was with Emily, and she would elaborate on the patient's chief complaint and just keep asking more questions. She would ask me what I thought, and that was really helpful. And then I came over to triage, where we would take vitals and start off the time asking them what their chief complaint was. And then there's also one more station, which is the pharmacy and lab. So after consultation, if Emily felt like they needed to take any labs or they needed any thing from the pharmacy, she would just send them over there.
I think one of the things that stuck out to me most was looking at these conditions and seeing the smiles on all the kids' faces. And, you know, they'll run up to you and want to take pictures, and just, they're full of smiles and full of love.
The experience was very positive, and a lot of it just has to do with the team, but it also is the people. there's so much poverty, there's so much need, and what really struck me is how resilient people are here, how important religion is to them, and how much hope and love people have. I feel like it's a real privilege to be here, and I never forget that in my interactions. And doing things like this is what fills me up. And I hope that everybody wants an opportunity like this to come and just experience a different culture, and everybody has something to give, and it doesn't have to be a lot.
We've been working with partners in development, again, both in Guatemala and in Haiti. The longer we've worked with them, the more stabilized these communities have been. We tackled most of their basic housing issues. We tackled most of their basic medical care issues. As those basic needs were being met, their needs evolved, and they said, okay, this is great that you're helping us, this is great that you're doing all this stuff for us, but ultimately we want to be self-sufficient. We want to be able to take care of ourselves, and in order to do that, we need education and we need job opportunities.
So that's how the small business started, as a direct request of the parents. And the goal of that program became, can we get them to earn enough money to be able to eat one meal a day?
I was digging in a dirt pile in Guatemala, and as I was digging, came out with a little piece of glass. I was struck by just the beautiful color of it as I was digging through this dirt pile, and I got thinking, maybe I can do something with this. So I brought it home, tried it out on the machine, and made a beautiful gem out of it. I thought, well, if I can do this, that might be an opportunity to teach the locals how to do this and take what's literally trash and turn it into something that's really beautiful and valuable and something that they could sell. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
Moi-même, c'est Michel-Ange. Dans PID tout petit, mais avant, il n'y a pas de PID, il n'y a pas de guénon. Maman était une organisation femme. Un bonjour, je t'ai rencontré avec Madame Gill. Pendant que je venu dans rendez-vous, et puis yo ouais situation zone en parlant de Cité Soleil, quelques monde dans Cité Soleil transféré de l'autre côté. Et puis yo fait caille pour maman, c'est maman qui premier monde depuis là, moi-même moi dans PID. Moi j'ai 4 petits monde et même vinn con l'autre bébé. Moi obligé venir avec. Pas de possibilité pour me taper. Je ne peux pas oublier ça parce que l'homme vient, des fois bébé a crié, il prend pour moi, vous comprenez? Des fois tout pour me travailler, il y a des gens nuisibles pas veulent coucher, qui prennent pour moi, ça va me permettre de continuer le travail. Moi économique vraiment dur. Il est difficile vraiment parce que c'est moi-même qui maman, c'est moi-même qui papa. Faut que moi éduquer et indiquer pour payer l'école. Tout ça, tout le monde a besoin. Jusqu'à présent, je suis fière de Pierre là parce que au jour le jour, je ne vais pas prendre de lui. Parce que c'est connaissance. Connaissance pas jamais fini. C'est un bagage capable de mettre extraordinaire. Impressionnant parce que on prend un bagage dans fatra et puis on transforme en métal précieux et puis qui gagne un paquet de valeur. Ça veut dire un bagage qui est impressionnant.
It's amazing.
People had moved in and out of the group, but we had a good dozen to begin with. That whittled down to 6 or so. A couple of them moved away. A couple of them, found jobs, found employment, and we've added some more now. At the moment, I'm working with 4. 2 of them are from the original 3-4 years ago.
Ça belle.
J'ai au moins de 4 ans. C'est un bail qui te fait nous bien un peu. Et puis, Steve vient montrer nous qui gens pour nous faire fatra ça au vin yon belle pierre.
Pour faire pierre là, demander faut un paquet de bagages. Et puis, on a besoin d'un morceau de bouteille ou bien un vitre télévision. Et puis, appareil pour couper un. Et il y a une gilette là-dedans, c'est une gilette ça pour visser, pour couper. Lorsqu'on couper et morceau de bouteille ça, après ça, on va le coller là avec baleine là, lui mettre dans gomme là. Après ça, on va le mettre dans la machine pour le travail. Et puis, on a besoin de fleurs qui ont un modèle, pierre ou le travail là. C'est les mêmes qui ont angle, ça veut dire qu'il y a un angle, pas des machines pour contrôler ça degré.
Yeah, that's where it's at right now. So we're at 2 right now.
Le fin de travail, nous polil, il y a un poli pour ça. Et puis, vous passez tout numéro quand même, genre comme si c'est recommencer, après recommencer encore. Et puis, il vient normal, il vient faire éclairer.
So we're working out of a storage depot, basically, that PID wasn't really utilizing. It's sort of the size of a big broom closet. There's only one small little light bulb. There's no windows. It's very dark. You only have room for one machine in there, and so you may have 4 to 6 workers who would like to work on the machine, but only one can work at a time. So this is sort of a 3-year project going forward, starting with the building of the Lapidary Arts Center over there. It should be big enough to house 3 machines so that we can have multiple people working at once. That's what the Haitians can provide. They're looking for jobs, they're looking for opportunities, and they want to be employed, they want gainful employment. So it's a perfect match.
Bon, c'est un bagay nous t'a prié pour nous réaliser déjà, mais nous avons pile temps nous t'a plein de ça, nous pour côté jeunes. Bon, journée jeudi à nous venir jeunes, quoi c'est une fierté pour nous
Dans Kaila, vraiment content tout Kaila parce que côté nous était vraiment petit et qu'on a nous un espace qui plus grand. Nouveau rêve moi c'est aider la J travail ça juste pour plus monde connaître, pour plus monde qu'a faire et puis mais là m'ta fier.
I mean, ideally, we'd like to employ maybe 12 full-time. I mean, it'd be awesome if we had enough orders to fill. But it all depends on the demand. If the demand is there, then we could bring in more workers. I feel like we've given them a real strong springboard to take this to the next level. We've not only got the physical structure going, but we've also got the administrative structure going. We put Michelange, we promoted her. She's now going to be the supervisor, so she's going to oversee them, and anything that they produce that's not up to snuff, she's going to reject. She has a real good eye for detail and quality. She's also going to train the new people. So I'm stoked about that. I'm pretty excited, and they're very excited about it. I told them how happy I was for them, and they said, "There's no way that you're happier than we are. We're happier than you are with all this work."
Haïti, c'est un bel pays. Et Haïti a un gros problème qui c'est pauvreté. Or, Haïti pas vraiment de travail, quand pour tout le monde travaille pour aider les familles vraiment. Et il y a pile de monde là-dedans qui pas de moyens pour vivre.
C'est une raison, nous toujours aimer les Steve là.
Here's the reason why they love when Steve here.
Parce que sans Steve,
without Steve, nothing we can do.
Ça c'est nous te senti nous bien en pile. Parce que Steve Nkadjo, enfin, Steve te représenté un gros portrait pour nous.
Une semaine ça content et ça veut dire pour une promotion. Grâce à Steve, je vais aider l'autre qui peut connaître le travail là, pour me superviser et montrer la technique de travail là, comment pour faire le travail là et puis comment pour sortir bien. Et si Steve pas faire ça bien, je ne vais pas faire ça.
We're at the 2018 Gem and Mineral Show at St. Joseph's College in Maine. We're here today for our opening of our GEMS project in Haiti. You can see the beautiful gems and their settings, and this is the end product of a lot of years of dedication and work by many people. So it'll be great to go back to Haiti and show them the gems already set in rings and pendants and earrings, and they're always so excited to see it when they actually have a finished item, how beautiful it looks. And so I can't wait to go and show them that and tell them what people said. Oh, is this an emerald? Oh, is this another kind of stone? And that they know that it's a recycled product that is just beautiful. Here's all of the gem side. Oh, so it is a... So it's providing great jobs for those people. We're trying to build the market in the United States, but also in Haiti, so that we can add more people. And so all of this is coming together all at the same time, so it's really exciting. I am just excited to go forward and see where we go from here. PID really deals with people as people. It's a journey that the whole family begins on when that first child comes in. When they come into the program, then we work with the family. We work on economic development. We work on adequate housing. We provide adequate medical care. And when we put all of those things together, we started to see people who came from extreme poverty all the way through to now we have families that came in eating 4 meals a week, that own their own home, that have businesses that are not funded by PID, and that have kids that graduated from university. So we have such a long history, we actually can see the impact of what putting those 4 services together does. So we provide all of those tools. So sponsoring a child really takes them on that journey to get tools that they can get out of poverty and really change their future if that's what they want to do.